Was that the lousy one and we're going to do a good one? Or are we done? What a bunch of crybabies. Okay, now the portion I've encouraged is come with the story, a Castlemont story, or East Oakland Youth story. When you get the microphone, if you're going to give one, give your name, and I guess, what else is there? Oh, maiden names, yes. Maiden names also. And I thought I'd relate two stories. I wrote, if you remember that first letter about the reunion, I wrote about the Castlemont ROTC marching band and how we hid in the auditorium when all the other schools left, and we then went out and practiced some more. So what I left out in that was that at the time, I think it probably wasn't right to do. I kind of thought that probably was wrong. But now I know we were cheating. There's no question about that was wrong, okay? But it happened. So two stories. I see a lot of pictures of Frick, okay? When I was an Elmhurst boy. So I've been going to lunch with Leo Alamano.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Now, Leo Alamano was born in 1921. Okay? And he's doing well. He's healthy, you know, frail for that age, but he's fine. He's good. And it turns out, after World War II, he went back to Cal, got a teaching credential, and his first teaching job was Elmhurst. You probably remember him as a Frick teacher. Is that true, some of you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so this is what Leo told me. He said, I'm teaching English at Elmhurst. And I had 1 1, 2 3s, and 2 5s. And I had no idea what that was. And that was tracking. 1 was the very strong English students, 5 were very weak. And he had 2 5s. And he said some of those youngsters could not sit in a seat the whole 50 minutes. They just had to get up. And this one particular day, Leo says, a kid got up, and I told the kid, sit down. I pushed him down in his seat. And the kid got a bloody nose out of it. Maybe Leo didn't just push him, right? But he said he pushed him, okay? So the kid got up and ran out of the room, went to the principal, and told the principal on his teacher. And so now Leo's got to face the principal. So he goes, sees the principal, and the principal says to him, I was wondering how long it was going to take for you to do that. Yeah, the world has changed, hasn't it? He then said, the superintendent of schools came by his classroom one day. And after observing the class, he went outside the door and was speaking with the principal. But he was speaking with the principal in such a way that Leo could hear what the superintendent was telling the principal. And he was bawling him out for saying, how could you put a beginning teacher like that in a class like that? What's wrong with you? Interesting, huh? I mean, you don't want the teacher hearing that, do you? In any case, Leo heard it. And a month or so later, he gets transferred to Frick. And he said, Frick was much different than Elmhurst. Now that was a surprise to me. Not, okay? We always thought of Frick as kind of like well, maybe a little more,
Be nice.
yeah, what can you say, right? That's just the impression I had, okay. We did our best at Elmhurst, but there was something about Frick. Well, Frick had 3 orchestras. And 2 orchestras were during the regular school day. The 3rd orchestra had to come before school to earn their way into one of the orchestras. Now, Elmhurst had an orchestra. I played in it, an orchestra. Mr. McCrowan, Kay's dad, was the orchestra teacher. And that was the most enjoyable class because he would often digress and tell stories about his growing family and what, things that were going on like that. It was just great fun. Okay, that was one story. I got the idea that across that the 3 orchestras, Frick was a good school. We tried hard. And the other one was, I'm taking math from Mr. Charrington. And I'm eating rock candy. But I'm not eating it like this. Boy, that's good. I'm just discreetly consuming it, okay? I don't even know how I got it, okay? Maybe a friend felt sorry for me, and there you go, I got some rock candy. So anyway, he discovered it, and he says, Richard, are you eating candy in class? Now, what's the correct answer to that if you're properly? It's a cough drop. No, I told the truth. Yes, Mr. Charrington, we'll get rid of it. So when he said about 5 minutes later, Richard, are you still eating that candy? Yes. I thought I told you to get rid of it. I'm sucking it as fast as I can. I didn't want to crunch it and disturb the class. Well, you go right ahead and crunch it. And in those days, if a bunch of people looked at me, that'd be the end of the world, right?
Oh yeah, I'll have some right here. Frank Bisbilia, I'll ask you if you remember it. My lovely wife, Rosie, of over 50 years, 60? 52 years. Have 2 boys, 4 grandchildren, and we all have a grand time together. And I'm happy I'm still on my 2 feet to be here today.
Laura Scrap Jackson. The farthest thing I remember is when I went to join the chorus. And Pop said, what do you sing? I said, soprano. He said, soprano. I spoke in a book, bass voice. I'm glad to be here with my sister.
I'm Warren Freitas. Just glad to be here. Good to see everybody.
Ron Scazafava, 3 years of baseball at Castlemont, best of my life. And I think Billy Beagle went to the toilet. He's got a good story about our championship game. Our championship game against McClymonds for the league, and we lost that game. But at any rate, he'll let you know about it.
I'm Kay McMillan, and I had the pleasure of sitting between 2. Okay, what? Original name. I can't remember what my original name is. Kay McCrowan, married to Bill McMillan, who sadly is not with us, but is in spirit. Anyway, I've been having my lunch between 2 baseball people, and, you know, one more story, do we need it? I love these stories.
You want me to stand?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bill Beagle, class of 1958. And I'm here today with my wife Gail and Kay McMillan. So I just talk a little bit. I'm trying to connect things. Elmhurst,
Turn around. The video.
Elmhurst, Castlemont, Stu Carter, Larry Darling, Dick Matter. When I was at Elmhurst Junior High, Dick Matter went to Castlemont. He was a catcher. Probably the greatest athlete Castlemont ever had, in my opinion. And I idolized him. Anyway, I thought to myself, God, I'm going to Castlemont. Castlemont Knights. How cool is that? That sounds a hell of a lot better than the Fremont Tigers. With the tired green and gold. I said, God, I'm going to put this purple and white uniforms on. It's so cool. So anyway, I get over to Castlemont, and Stu Carter was a baseball coach. Me and Stu Carter did not get along very well. We didn't see eye to eye. He had to ram me to death. Yeah. It didn't matter. He used to throw the ball back to the pitcher's mound. He kind of twirled his arm and throw it, and I emulated that. But once in a while, I didn't get it to the pitcher, and the ball would hit the front of the mound. The dirt would fly up. And so I did it one time that after Stu Carter had retired. I threw it and I whirled my arm back, and it hit the dirt in front of the mound. I hear, "Throw the goddamn ball back right." I turned around, it was Stu Carter. And I'm like, my God, I mean, you know, the pitcher, the catcher, you're supposed to throw the ball back to the mound. You're supposed to throw it chest high, eye level, so the poor little devil doesn't have to bend down to get the ball, because we don't want to tire him out. But it's all right for the pitcher to throw the ball in the dirt. Dirt flying all over the place. Miss signs, call a fastball, he throws a curveball, you break your fingers. 6-run lead, he's out there walking 4 or 5 guys over. That's all right, but don't throw the ball back to the mound and let it hit the dirt and bounce up. The poor man's got to bend down. So anyway, we got to the drama department, and Larry Darling was the drama teacher, and he was so good. And they had a play called What a Life. It was a play about Henry Aldrich, which took a high-pitched voice to do that part. And Mr. Darling would do it, and he was so good. He intimidated me. So he wanted me to try it. He says, "Bill, you try doing Henry Aldrich." I said, "Mr. Darling, I can't do that voice. It's too high." He says, "Try it." I said, "Okay, I'll try." Well, I was just higher. Well, I was just higher. She said, "Do a line." "Well, gee, Mr. Jackson, all I was doing standing here minding my own business, and I looked up, and there he was." And he gave me the part. Well, he gave me the part, and that night I had my uncles and aunts in the audience, and I was so nervous. And if Tom Powell, God rest, I don't know if Tom's still living or not. I don't know. He passed away. I don't know, but he was very, very. If he hadn't been off to the side of doing the prompt, then I would never got through that term play. But that's my recollection of Castlemont. I loved it there. I met a lot of nice people, and to me, there's somebody here who doesn't get enough credit for doing so much for Castlemont. And that's my good friend Rich Klier. I've known him since the 4th grade, 5th grade, all through high. I love him to death. I'm honored to be his friend. I really am. He's one of the greatest guys I've ever known. So.
Well, I certainly can't beat that story. I was going to sing a song, but I guess I wouldn't. Anyway, my name's Doug Bristow, and it was very interesting seeing probably about 8 people that I went to grammar school with, which was Burbank, went to Frick Junior High School, and also Castlemont. And now I guess I get to introduce my lovely wife.
Hi, my name is Louise Holm Bristow, and I graduated the class of January 58, and just happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Weller, and I was in the class of January 1958, and I'm happy to have made it another 10 years.
I'm Barbara Ordonez Lunsford, and I'm happy to be here. And it's funny, you sit here and you think, you know, your mind starts going back a lot of years for us. And I was thinking about how much I really enjoyed swimming in the aqueducts. Some of you remember that? We did the swimming to songs and things. That was really fun.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou Wagoner MacArthur, and I was June of '58, but I just had a quick story about my favorite teacher, and that was Mr. Gerard. Al Gerard was chairman of the English department, and many of you may have been in either the English seminar or the science seminar. It was something that was new in that fall of '58. And it was a pretty aggressive class, but still, we got to know each other and share stories. And I had been in an accident in the fall, and so I couldn't take regular PE. But I took roll, I refereed games, I checked to make sure everybody took a shower, and for that I got a C. Well, that year, I wasn't taking any math or any science, so I was on track to get all A's, except in PE. So I grouched about this to Mr. Gerard, and I said, you know, I do this and this, I take my life in my hands, when one of these girls says, hey, put down that I took a shower. And I say, I have to see you in. And I thought, you know, if I run into these girls after school, I am dead meat. But I grumbled to Mr. Gerard, and sure enough, the next report card, you remember we used to get 3 in a semester. First 2, I had C's. So the third one, I had an A, and the semester I had an A, so I'll always be grateful to Mr. Gerard for helping me get straight A's that senior year.
Well, I'm George Town, and it was a long drive to get down here. Cost me an arm and a leg. Got to see Jeffrey Dahmer's. Anyhow, I'm glad to see everybody's upright and doing well.
I'm Jerry Brown, and I'm in the book and he isn't. I'm one of the few that still live in Oakland, and I don't really have any great memory condition to be able to bring back things that happened in high school. But I did encounter something that might be a bit interesting. In Home Depot, walking around, talking to this fellow, and we got chatting about high school, and I told him that I graduated in '58, and he said, I graduated way later than that. And he talked about, he was in the track team, and he says, all the time I was there was a guy from '58 that had a record in the track, and we still have not beat it until I beat it, he said. And it was Richard Klier. Had a record for years and years. I don't know what distance it would have been, Rich.
Half mile.
A half mile. So people remembered that name years afterwards. It was good to be here, and I'm so glad to be able to be here. Thank you so much.
My name is Jim Hickey. One of the things I remember, I took wrestling, and the coach at the time was Paul Chevelle, and he, after wrestling, he says, oh man, he says, you must be a natural swimmer. He says, why don't you try out for the swimming team? I says, I would if I could swim. My name is Greg Hickey. I'm in the class of '56, and I'm glad that I came today. My brother was, it was his class, and but it's been fun. But I'm also here to, one of the things I want to mention is that Richard, probably many of you don't realize how much he has done for the school currently, and does. There's been a scholarship program going. He's been very active in that, in the group that he's worked with. So congratulations on that, Richard. It's been big step. I'm also active in there is an alumni association at Castlemont, and I'd love to have some more of you join. We've been supplying scholarships to the school, helping with a lot of other functions. I've been on the campus quite a few times in the last couple of years or two, and the teachers look like the kids now. So that's taking me a little bit getting used to. But a couple of other things I want to mention there. I've also brought kind of a little side business for the Alumni Association, and I sell Castlemont Nights t-shirts and caps and visors. I've got some of those today if somebody's interested in those. I got plenty of change. Sorry, can't take credit cards, but I will take a check. And I also wanted to mention a number of years ago, I started a multi-class picnic at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. I know a lot of you have been to that. It's every 2 years. Next year is kind of up in the air at the fairgrounds because they've changed their policy a lot now, and it's going to make it a lot more difficult. But I'm still going to try and have it, if not the fairgrounds, somewhere else, open to all classes. And last year we had a little over 200 people there. 2 years back, last year I think was either the 7th or 8th one. One of those picnics we had over 600 people there. No surprise, there were not too many people from the 40s now that are still coming to that. And that was a strong presence early on too. So I'll try to keep in touch and I try to work with the different classes and their organizers and let them know when these things are coming up and try to get the word out of the two. But like I said, love to have you participate with the Alumni Association and working out scholarship money for the kids. So, thank you.
My name is Leanne Hannah Bittinger Collier. Get them all right. Anyhow, I love high school. I love Castlemont. I love my friends. I know some of them from Toller Heights. Jan Thurston, my girls from Judy from Elmhurst. A lot of the guys are from Elmhurst. And my grandfather also taught at Elmhurst, and a lot of the guys know my grandfather's Board of Education. I'm not saying anything else. But they'll go rub there. Nowadays, he'd be put in jail. But anyhow, I love classes that I had Miss McDonald for Latin. I had Mr. Sparakis I had him at Elmhurst, and then I went to Castlemont and I had him here. Well, what was funny was if you got Mr. Sparakis talking about his war stories, you wouldn't have to listen to all the chemistry stuff and all the stuff he taught. And so I used to get him off on, I'd get him, ask him a question, and I'd say, well, what about the war? And he'd start talking about it and get way off of the subject. And I got a B in his class, and he said, Leanne, if you had been quiet, you would have got an A. But I had a wonderful time in Castlemont, and I'm so glad. Look at all of us. I mean, we should be in the Guinness World Book of Records.
I'm Joan Garcia, and this is my husband of almost 60 years. Deborah will be 60 years married. Okay. And one of the things when I think of high school in Castlemont, I think of the friends that I've made through the years, and so many of these friendships started when I was going to French Junior High School, and they kind of followed me. We kind of all went over to Castlemont together. But I think what really makes me happy is that I still have, all except for one, all the friends that were really close to me are still here, and I have two of them here, that I really enjoyed, and two of them were not able to make it. I'm really grateful for the chance to come to this reunion. I went to the 5-year, and then when I went to look for the 25-year to get myself on the name list, I found out that Castlemont, the beautiful school I knew, did not exist anymore, and there was this gaudy building, and what really made it bad is I went to go into the old portion of the building to register and give my information. And my husband and I had to go in. Actually went in by armed guard. And it was really shocking that it had gotten to this point. Anyway, I didn't get to go to my 25th class reunion, but I did get to go to the 50th and really had a really good time. And I'm really glad that I'm being able to do it again here now for the 60th. But there are a couple of things that happened when I was in high school that I really liked. Now, I think tonight's dinner, today's luncheon has been absolutely wonderful. I didn't realize how much I really liked food, but all I can remember is that when I was in school, that I used to walk to school from the top of 73rd Avenue all the way to school down to Castlemont because I could sell my bus tokens for money so that I could buy the spaghetti that came in that little white container. And I loved that spaghetti. And for years I could never find another kind of spaghetti that tasted like that. I just loved it. And then the other thing is that I really loved, and I really looked forward to it, and that was the bus rides that we used to take to go to McClymonds to the football games. I love the excitement of getting on those buses, and just everything just went completely crazy, and it just gave me such a love for football today. I could sit for hours watching football, and I know that it stems from that. And the other thing is one of the things I wanted to share about going to these school events is there is a situation going on now that really kind of bothers me a whole lot. I really think that homeschooling is a really good thing to teach the children, the education part of it. But I think they are missing so much by not being encouraged to go to these schools, these terrible public schools, where you get introduced to other people and the bullying that goes on and all the ugliness that goes on, but you make sure a person because you learn how to stand up to them. And at my 4'9" and 83 pounds, I can remember one time I was trying to play basketball, and I was right about this high above the knee to the girl that I was playing, and I went to throw the ball, and I don't know if I, hit her in the wrong place or what, but she come down on me, and I thought she was going to kill me. And that was the first time I really thought to myself, oh my God, this is bullying, I'm being bullied. And I just backed off, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to let this happen. And instead of doing my, cry which I used to do, I was able to go back and face her and look at her and thinking, here comes the foot. But I was able to resolve it with her, and we were able to talk. And something? It taught me something so important. And I think that is one of the things that our schools are missing so much. I enjoyed the educational part of the school. I did get to get my education. I went on to nursing, and I accomplished a lot of good things. But I think the most important thing that I learned at Castlemont High School was to grow up emotionally and to be able to face the world and face the challenges that were coming up that were not only educational but also the emotional and actually dealing with those people. And that's one of the things I really love about the school. That
I'm Frank, and the greatest thing about Castlemont is that she was there, and I met her, 60 years ago, and I did live in Castlemont School District, 89th and Birch, and the reason we didn't go there, I went to a parochial school and closer to downtown, and but I had two great cousins that graduated there, both Dorothy Sala and a Donna Rivera. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Vern Smith. I wanted to mention that in high school I took radio electronics from Nicholas Saba and what was the other guy's name? Smith. also. Sorry, I can't remember his first name. So I got a job at a place called Radio Margot up on the boulevard. And Margot Margosian was the boss. And I was going steady with a young lady at the time. And I decided to take her to church one Sunday. So I went across the street where the Radio Margot van was parked, asked for the keys, drove off, went and picked her up, took her to church, and when I came back, the Oakland Police Department was waiting for me. I failed to ask my boss if I could borrow the truck. And so she got me into a lot of trouble. Here she sits right here, Joe Escobar Garcia. And I was asked by Rich to talk about another thing. In the Marine Corps, I was on a 96-hour pass, visiting another girlfriend, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was heading home from 78th Avenue. I lived on 75th Avenue, and on MacArthur Boulevard, I heard a siren behind me. I looked down at my speedometer. I was doing 60 in a 25, and he was on a motorcycle. So I put my left turn indicators on, turned down 75th, and he went roaring by me. And I thought, wow, he must be on a call somewhere. When I got down to the next street, Hillside, there he came around the corner from 74th, and he was after me. So I kind of panicked. I didn't want to be pulled over in front of my house or my neighbors. So I turned and went over to 76th and headed down towards Bancroft. When I got to Bancroft, I swerved to the right, I swerved to the left, and then I turned to the right. In the meantime, I also turned the lights off. So I'm heading for the old Chevy railroad yard, and I did the same thing. I swerved to the right, and I turned to the left. And he was coming on so hard that he went into the railroad yard, and all I saw was a big smoke and dust in the background. And needless to say, I got away with it, and Rich put it in the little booklet here and in the Castlemont flyer, and I was supposed to remain anonymous. So that's the last time I did anything illegal that I know of.
I graduated in June of '58. Probably my very favorite class was Lou Christensen doing the yearbook, not the yearbook, but the choir. And we used to go downtown and put the paper together at Lady Trade. I just loved it. One time, Lou wrote on one of my papers, "You write well when you write, but you might try writing a little more often." So that was my favorite class. This is my daughter Janine and my son-in-law John.
I don't remember a whole lot of good things. There were a lot, and I really enjoyed the time there. But one of the things I do remember, I don't know how many people remember Coach Street. He was about 80 years old. But the interesting thing is that he'd pick up the medicine ball and just throw it at you. This guy was 80 years old at the time. And interestingly enough, he was also my dad's coach over at Hamilton Junior High. And Coach Street ended up, I think he was like 103, 104, something like that, years old when he passed. But he only had one eye, and he used to ride his bike around.
But that guy was a strong guy at his age. Anyway, thank you. And thanks for this wonderful reunion, too. It was really, really great.
We got somebody who doesn't know who he is.